Hang on, I can't hear you. All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, hey everybody. What's up? How's your weekend?
It was good. Is it just Kim on the phone?
I'm letting in somebody else right now, but yeah, for the moment.
Okay, I think she's working out.
Yes. Okay, morning, Joycelyn. Okay, how's everything going? What should we be celebrating? Anything, just awesome news you want to talk about? Any struggles you want to talk about? Everything is perfect? Okay. If you guys don't come up with anything, I'll come up with it. Okay. Let's welcome Pam and Jan. Do you have anything to share? Anything you want to celebrate? Anything you want to share? No? Okay.
I don't think Jan's audio's on.
Here she comes. She signs in twice for some reason. I don't know what's going on with that. All right, welcome everybody. Who's excited for Bold? Okay, who else is excited for Bold? I believe everyone on here is registered, is that correct? Okay. All right, I just want to share a couple things that I'm noticing in numbers that I want to discuss with you guys. I believe everyone on the call has posted their numbers, and if not, perhaps you could do that right this moment. I just want to help you understand how important the numbers are. The numbers are like, they're proof you're in business, right? They're number one, they're proof you're in business, and they are also proof that whatever you're doing, whatever activities you're doing to create business and nurture business and move transactions along and close is working. If you don't track it, we have no way of knowing if it's working. And as a result, we have no way of knowing whether we can make improvements or where we need to make improvements. So the good news is that with a group this big, we can get some pretty big, we can make some generalizations based on the numbers that are coming in. So I'm just going to share something with you real fast. I'm looking at all of April numbers total. Okay. So let me show you this real fast. I'll just share my screen. All right. Can you all see my screen?
Now I can.
Okay. I am looking at all of April. This is all of our members for all of the weeks of April. Okay. We are going on, first of all, 620 lead gen hours for 2,000 contacts is give or take 3 contacts an hour. That is relatively low. That is actually pretty low efficiency. So, you know, everyone, my hope is that we're not just throwing numbers up there.
Well, Bill, you have to remember all these people are home and have time to chit chat, and you know, getting them off the phone has been way harder than getting them on the phone recently.
I agree.
Yep. And I know we spoke about your question the other day about would you rather have 4 conversations that are incredibly meaningful or 40 that are kind of iffy. What I'm going to challenge you to do is cut the 20-minute call to 15 minutes or cut the 15-minute call to 10 minutes. Just trim it a little bit, because having 3 conversations in 1 hour is relatively low efficiency. And therefore, it's going to take you more hours to hit your goals. So when when you're involved in a two-way conversation, there's no obvious leader, so to speak, or person in control. And what I want to make sure that you are thinking about is that you're not waiting for them to end the conversation. You are just being aware that you're at work, right? If the conversation is going like super, super long, just let them know that you can call them back at 5 o'clock when you're done. And you can talk for as long as you'd like. But in the heat of generating leads time, the idea is to have ideally more than 3 contacts per day or per hour. Okay. This is a pretty good stat. Over a fourth of the people that we're speaking to we're adding to our database, which tells me that one of two things: either we're speaking to some strangers and growing our database, which is phenomenal, or we are adding people that we already know to the database, which is just as valuable. Okay, so I like that stat. 75 appointments set to 66 held. That's pretty good. According to the data that I've seen, it usually is around a 30% fallout. So we're 2xing that. That's really sharp. So you guys are doing a great job of creating value on the initial call. So sorry, creating value on the initial call so that the person decides to keep the meeting, right? And remember, that's essentially what it's all about, right? You can set as many appointments as you want, but if you're not creating enough value for them to then remember the value, put it on their calendar, keep it, and then show up as a plan, then it's for naught anyway, right? And that's something, quite frankly, that I'm learning. I mean, I'm always learning, right? Because I set a ton of appointments last week, and I had 4 or 5 that just flat out didn't show. Right. And so I didn't create enough value on that call for them, or enough clarity on that call for them to show up for the 20, 30 minutes that we had planned on talking. Okay. So good job on that. Just keep an awareness about the difference between number of set and number held. Here's where I want to go through a little bit of, spend a couple extra minutes. So this is telling me that of the 66 we held, 21 were listing appointments. So a third of our business is on the listing side, collectively as a group. If anything, it should be the exact opposite right now. Okay. MREA says at least 50-50. The more you are on the listing side, the better. Particularly in this environment where all you got to do is put it on the market, price it right, make it look pretty, and it's probably not going to last all that long. If your pipeline is full of buyers, they are a little bit more susceptible to the whims of the daily press conferences. Does that make sense? And the highs and the lows of the stock market and all that. Okay. When you got a house to sell, that thing's still got to sell. Okay. So as you are selecting the people that you want to be calling every day, just have an awareness that the more sellers, the more potential sellers you're speaking to, the better. Okay. This is also something that's a little concerning for me, is that we're going on 21 appointments, yet we only took 11 listings. So does anyone want to talk about what are we hearing from these sellers that is causing that? Help me understand, are these ones that you chose not to take? Are these ones that they picked a different agent? Or are these ones that are still out there thinking? Give me the pulse of the market.
I'll tell you mine. I have a listing coming on the market this week. I didn't count it last week. I was going to count it this week.
Okay. So you already counted the listing appointment set and held.
Yes, but I didn't count the listing taken.
Okay, gotcha.
So it'll count this week. I guess I should have counted it last week.
Did you sign paperwork?
No, that's being done today.
Okay, so that's a different discussion altogether,
Okay.
which is the second that they're ready to sign paperwork and they're ready to commit to you, let's get it signed.
It's my daughter.
Okay.
So,
A little different story, but
yeah.
everyone.
But I did the Zoom call to them just to practice on them.
Good. I want to make sure, don't put the listings taken until you sign the paperwork.
Okay.
But don't be too.
Oh, I wouldn't have done it if I had not, if I would have wanted somebody else to sign it, but it's my daughter and son-in-law.
Yeah. For your daughter, it's a different story perhaps, but
anybody else, don't do anything for them until it's signed.
Right. Or just let them know, hey, this is, look, everywhere you go to like drop your dry cleaning off and they want you to do paperwork. Like, it's not uncommon. Right. This is our version of paperwork. Okay. Okay. Somebody else talk to me. What are we seeing out there? Are these people that are like getting their house prepped and ready? Have they chosen other realtors, or were they too crazy for you to work with? Because normally this should be somewhere in that 75% range. And when I'm doing the forecast with you guys, I'm using 75%. So if we're closer to 50%, then you're going to need more appointments. So walk me through. Is there anyone on the call that had a listing appointment, didn't take it? Walk me through how that went.
Bill, I have a little bit of trouble with the whole listing appointment thing because I don't set another listing appointment for people. If I have them on the phone, I want to have a conversation with them. They're open to it. I have that conversation with them. And if they're ready to list right now and I go out to take the listing, that's what I consider an appointment. And I'm having issues with that whole piece of it.
Like, how do you define that activity?
Yes.
I would say one of two things. Either keep doing it the way you're doing it, where like it's like you're having that kind of final appointment, if you will, before paperwork is signed and it goes live. That's what you would count. Or go back and say, like, as soon as you go from what I would call a prospecting call to like the tone has changed and you're doing more of a presentation and a needs analysis, right? Then if you're going to do it that way, then don't be afraid to ask for the commitment right then and there.
Okay.
Right. What I want to get, what I don't want to happen is that you spend the quantity of time that you would normally spend with a listing appointment on somebody who's not ready for it, and then a close would seem strange. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Technically, an appointment of any kind is a two-way conversation, ideally in person, but let's say for Zoom, with a needs analysis and a close. Stephanie, you ready to get started? All we need to do next is sign the paperwork. Right. Oh, well, I'm not going to list for 3 weeks. I got to get the painter in here. Great. What we can do is just, we'll go ahead and get this paperwork started, and it'll say we'll make it active in 3 weeks or whatever. Okay. See Melba and Aubrey and the rest of them for the FMLS specific language. I'm looking for a commitment. I'm not going to let FMLS get in the way of me getting a commitment. Make sense?
So I have another question for you. When Stacy Wyatt was our team leader, he said that what he does is get a listing, even if they're not ready right now, but they're ready to commit right now, to get a listing that the dates and the price is to be determined, and then go back later and have that updated.
I completely agree with that.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're still on the same page with that, because I have really good, I have good success with that, and I have several to be determined listings right now that have not quite gone live for whatever reason, but eventually will.
So I would call that an appointment set and held and listing taken.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, Joanne Curtin does that too.
Yeah.
I do that. I've done several like that, and I've stipulated in it that the listing will go live on a certain date, and but all of this is going to be the to be determined date is to get everything done that has to be done, because I'm not going to give them my vendors. I'm not going to do pictures. I'm not going to do anything until they've committed to me. So I've done that several times.
Completely agree. We want to push the commitment. So keep in mind, if you're putting up individual numbers that are closer to, that are less than, let's say, 75% on the taken to held, you should adjust the formula in the economic model until you can prove that you're back on track from the conversion ratio. And as soon as you do that, you're going to need more practice. So let me know if you're having any specific challenges with either the presentation or objection handlers, or are they hitting you hard on the coronavirus? Are they hitting you hard on commission? Are they hitting you hard on something different, right? Price, because we want to make some improvements here. Okay, contract. Here's another potential issue I'm seeing. Lots of contracts written. Good job, right? I mean, basically for every appointment, never mind. 23 contracts written, but only 13 pendings. So walk me through that. Are we losing a lot of multiple offers? Are we writing contracts when the client isn't motivated or serious or aware of, kind of a realist in the market? Why are we only pending 13 if we're writing 23? Walk me through that.
Well, even if you write a contract, I guess my thing is I put it pending after due diligence is done.
No. Pending is when the deal is fully executed by both parties. Do you have a lot of fallout between pending or between fully executed and all the contingencies are done?
I do, because of the nature of the people that I deal with. A lot of those contracts fall out for, multiple reasons.
Okay, so I want you to track one extra thing privately, which is we're going to redefine pendings for you, which is when the deal goes under contract and it's fully executed and bound by both parties. And then I want you to track something else, which is obviously units closed. Well, I mean, we're already tracking that, but what I want you to see is how can you better bulletproof the transaction?
Unfortunately, Bill,
just say I'm going to do my best.
Yeah, I do my best, but okay. I will start tracking that. Yeah.
Because it might just be one extra phrase that you tell the buyer, right? Because this is every minute that you spend with these crazies, Jan, is the minute that you can't spend with your husband and your kids.
Well, a perfect example is the lot that I just went under contract. I've been under contract 3 times with that lot, and there's issues with the lot, and people have to have time to do the due diligence to see if it'll work for them. And it hasn't up to this point. Keep your fingers crossed, knock on wood. These people seem pretty serious and know what they're talking about. So I'm expecting this one to stick, but I won't know till Wednesday.
Every time you write a contract for a buyer and submit it, that's a contract's written. Anytime you pinned the deal, which is on the seller or buyer side, and you have fully executed bound contract, that's a pending. If it falls out, it falls out.
Okay.
Okay. So if you would, if there's edits that you should make based on those new definitions, please do those as soon as you can. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Is there any, help me understand a little bit of the fallout, because it's a little higher than I would expect it to be. Is everyone operating off of those definitions?
Yes.
Okay. On a scale, I'm going to ask everyone for their honest opinion on this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how direct can I be with you right now? Everyone, give me an answer.
10.
10.
Oh, go for it, Bill. Just give us a 10.
Is there anybody who's not a 10? I'll be a gentle 10, but is
10.
there anyone that's not a 10?
Be a bad 10. Be a forceful 10.
You want me to be a
You're
forceful
our
10?
you are our coach. I had a struggle with that. You are our coach. Beat us up.
Okay, there are a lot of people that did not take a listing this month. And there are actually a number of people who didn't go on a listing appointment this month. Listings is the name of the game. Some people have logged another month where they did not pin anything and they did not close anything, which scares me a little bit because you didn't get paid this month and there's a very small likelihood you'll get paid next month. Okay, so if that is you, I just want you to do some soul searching on how can it be different this upcoming month. Okay, I'm not going to look back. We're not going to get bummed out. We're simply going to acknowledge that the more time you spend speaking to people and the more time you spend expressing your value to people, the more opportunities you'll get and the more likely you'll get paid. Okay? Believe me, if you've known me for 5 minutes, it's not about the money. But if you don't make any money, it's going to be about the money. Okay? So there were a couple of people, 3 people, Kathy and Sadia, who made over 100 contacts this week. Good job. Really good job. And there's some people that booked multiple appointments, wrote multiple contracts. Martha, Jan, great work. I really don't want to have to beg you to report your numbers. Okay. Really, really don't want to beg. I want to match your level of, let me rephrase that. I want to be in business with people that are serious, right? That give me what I need so that I can give them what they need. The coach's job is to tell you what you need to hear so that you can get what you want. The more, if we're spending just a couple of hours a week generating leads, it's just not going to move the needle that much, right? It's just not going to move the needle that much. And I want to see big results for you guys. Okay. Who wants to talk? Who wants to share based on what I just said? Okay. I'm going to show you one other thing. So this was our April 4 conversations. Can you see this area right here? So
Yes.
our goal was to be at 13 listing appointments. So far, we're at 21. So great job. Okay. Our goal was to take 10 listings. We took 11. Also, great job. I know this is going to take some time to funnel through. We had a goal to sell 18 homes. We sold 6. Again, this is a brand new program. I know it's going to take a little while. And we had a goal to have 166,000 plus in GCI. We are at 12% of goal, 20 grand, just shy of 21 grand. Okay. That's based on our overall market center profit which is about 20% higher than it was last year, which will probably not happen based on the coronavirus and all that stuff. However, our leading indicators are strong. The listing appointments and listings taken are strong. That leads to this stuff on the right side. So what I'd like to do, and I might even consider moving this up again, but 2 weeks ago I said I wanted to go basically 2 more levels up of goals based on the size of our program and based on how the leading indicators are going, and having 17 listing appointments as our goal and 13 listings taken and 24 closed units. Okay. That's not really crazy talk, because we had 13 pendings in April and we had 13 pendings in March. And I believe there's only, so that's 26, and there's only been 10 units sold. Some of these sold before we were even counting the pendings. So we should have like another 20 or something closings this month and be able to hit this goal, right? So I don't think that's too much of a leap this month. So I'm expecting us to blow through these 17 and 13, but I really want to focus on is this side of the graph this month, okay? So we are at the 4th of May. We will probably be returning to the office sometime this month is my hunch, if you feel comfortable with it, okay? I want everyone, I tried this the other day and I didn't get a whole lot of response. What are you going to get intentional about this month? What is
I thought about that last night because you told us to a personal and a business goal to
Yeah.
get intentional about, and we were supposed to put it in the WhatsApp, and I didn't. I thought
Okay.
about it when I was on the phone with somebody.
So Kathy, right after this call, you're gonna share your personal and business, and my hope is that right after everyone updates their numbers, they will share theirs. See how I slid that in? I haven't seen any. There's a smile. First smile of the week. Nice. Okay. Does anyone want to share theirs right now?
Yeah, I'll share mine.
Okay, go ahead.
My business goal is to have 3 home listings, not lot listings, but 3 home listings, and lose 10 pounds.
Awesome. Awesome. So this may sound like it's overkill, but I really don't think that is. I appreciate you sharing. Don't be afraid to create, like a GPS around that, right? So losing 10 pounds in 30 days is no small feat, right? And that's going to take some serious committed action, right? And you're going to have to be really purposeful with your time, with your exercise, with your diet, with all that stuff. So anytime you have something that's speaking to you, create a plan around it, because you got kind of 3 choices. No plan, it ain't gonna happen. Plan with no accountability, it's unlikely to happen. Plan with accountability, it's unlikely to not happen. Make sense?
Kathy, friends who are dietitians and stuff recommend, and I don't know how you feel about this, but recommend setting the goal for cutting and maintaining 1 pound off a week.
Yeah.
I have so much to lose that it will come off quick.
But for that, it makes it a lifestyle change, not just a diet.
And that is it. It's the sugar, because last week I made lemon ice cream and blueberry pie. I had lost 4 pounds the week before because I cut out sugar. Last week I ate lemon ice cream and blueberry pie. One night I ate blueberry pie at 7:30. That was April 28th, National Blueberry Pie Day. 7:30, 7:45 with lemon ice cream on it. The next day at 2:30, I ate again. That's how I eat. I don't eat. And when I eat, I make bad choices.
Well, sometimes
it's cutting out the sugar, eating like I'm supposed to, and not eating the bad stuff, which.
So sometimes it's not about saying like, I'm not going to ever eat sugar again. Like that's that's very difficult to maintain, right? I don't know that any one of us could do that.
Mm.
But you might say, and Stephanie, you could probably share some guidance on this too, like, you know, I'm not going to eat sugar for the next 2 hours, right? And then after 2 hours, you're like, I'm not going to do it for another hour. Let's see if I can do it, right? And then eventually, it just, like Heather was saying, it becomes more of a, it's like an identity. Like my identity is that I don't eat sugar. So by sugar, it's not being to myself, right? All right, I'm gonna hop off and hop on the leadership call. Stephanie and Heather can get, Kathy, you can, I think you're gonna get some free
I
diet advice.
I have homework